As a parent and therapist, I realize that families being home together nonstop during this unique time of COVID-19 can be both amazing and challenging, especially if you have extra challenges coming into this time, like a child with special needs, marital discord, or fractures in your parent-child relationship. My hope is that I can inspire you to build a bridge towards healing during this time and have some concrete takeaways to help you stay well while staying at home. When you have a breakdown in communication with a child, this is called a rupture. When a parent decides to take steps to address it, this is called a repair. During this unordinary time of COVID-19, ruptures may be due to everyone's feelings of loss of belonging to a social or work group, loss of seeing your teacher every day and friends, loss of routines and structure, and loss of celebrating and completing special life events like graduations, weddings, and championships. The first few weeks of sheltering in place was novel and adrenaline was high, making it easier for everyone. But now that that has worn off and we are playing the long game for keeps, we will notice in our kids and in ourselves that we all have some form of grief and sadness. In fact, we should anticipate it and not react to it with surprise. This will show itself in our kids in different forms: irritability, anxiety, restless sleep, low effort and low motivation, even regression in developmental stages. When a rupture does occur, the most important thing is to stay calm and then respond. Responding is different than reacting, and don't overreact. Respond with empathy and compassion can go a long way in thinking about what our kids are all going through. Also, you don't have to respond immediately, but you do have to take action, and this is the parent's responsibility to do a repair and not the child. Take a break if you need to. You can always invest in your own self-care. This is really paramount for parents. Take a mindful 2 minutes while taking a walk. Go for a drive, read, just breathe. When you have your child respond to you with some sass or irritability or back talk, just know and come from a stance of compassion that they're not doing it to offend you. Don't take it personally. You want to also reflect on what's going on for you in that moment. Possibly, are you scared from not knowing all the answers? Or are you feeling shame and guilt from when you did overreact? Were you depleted and just feeling crummy at a weak moment? Do you know your own triggers and what activates you? Maybe something from your past. Taking this time to reflect and come back to what you know with your child when you're calm and ready will be very helpful. Next, you want to engage your child. Here you need to connect first. Taking the time to connect means getting down on their eye level, getting on the floor with them, entering their world. For kids, it's with play. For teens, it might be bringing them a snack or listening to their stories about their video games or their favorite YouTubers. Then you want to bravely acknowledge the rupture, give it a name, put it into the universe with words, and tell them your intent is to connect and repair with them. Use active listening to listen to your child's point of view and perspective. You want to use I statements and tell them about how you feel, and then reflect back how you heard how they feel. For example, for me, I was concerned that you were playing video games too long and you would not feel well. But for you, you were having fun and your friend just joined online and you really miss seeing your friends, so you wanted to play more. Did I get that right? And your kids will tell you if they feel understood. You also want to share both persons' points of view without getting too personal, such as, that was really difficult earlier and didn't feel good to both of us. I hope that we can move on from this. Can we talk about it? Another great opportunity is to use both and language. For example, yes, this is a frightening time for all of us, and we can also spend quality special time together and get a little brain break. Using both and language helps build resiliency in our kids and teach them about tolerable stress. You can have both things existing at the same time. Have some common agreements with your family and collaborate, especially with your teenagers and young adults who are really feeling a loss of agency at this time. When all else fails, declare a reset or a redo, whatever words your family likes. And make sure all family members are on board, especially your spouse. Take shifts, communicate to make sure no one is depleted. Timing is super important, and you might get pushback from some of your kids or teens, but don't give up, give them space, and keep trying to address something. Re-engage with your littles with play, play, play. And re-engage with your teens and your bigs by giving them space, playing basketball, going for a walk, whatever it takes. You know your child best and how they regulate and how they're wired. Cuddles, hugs, and affection are so important right now, more than ever. Try to have some cuddles and giggles every day. And in the end, keep structures and routines going. Keep limits for safety as a priority. Orchestrate movement and fun activities every day with your family. But on the flip side, don't orchestrate too much. You want your kids also to have some boredom and design their way out of it. This will enrich them and spark that area of their brain for imagination. You also want to be emotionally flexible this time. Flex your emotional muscle. You need to adapt and pivot. For example, screen time is actually super safe right now, safer than, seeing their friends in person. You want to be highly attuned to your nonverbals and meta communication as well, because kids can really feel everything we're feeling, and they do what they do, and they can also make their own assumptions. Remember to follow ruptures with repair and a reset whenever possible. Lastly, wake up each morning and ask yourself, how do I want to show up in the world today as a parent and as a spouse? The more you model taking committed actions towards your values, your north, the more your family will follow your lead and show up for each other.